Veterans Day, and just want to acknowledge everybody that has and is serving our country. We and I appreciate everything that you're doing, your sacrifices that you make and have made, and continue to make for your family as well. So, big game this week. Really good football team that we have an opportunity to play. You look at what they're doing in all three phases of the game. They're playing extremely well. Look at their results throughout the course of the season. Continue to play smart, physical football, both sides of the line of scrimmage in particular, and be a huge test for us. So, looking forward to seeing Vol Nation show up. They've been awesome on the road this year. We certainly want to see a lot of orange when we get there to Columbia too. So, appreciate everybody making that trip. With that, open it up.
Questions? Rob.
Coach, after the stats this weekend, you get the number one rushing offense in the league, the number one rushing defense in the league. You always talk here. This is a line of scrimmage league. What steps have had to take place for you guys to beat it?
Yeah, just the growth, from our program, where we started to where we are now. It starts with personnel, having good players on the line of scrimmage. We have guys that have played a lot of football on both sides of the line of scrimmage too. They've continued to get better. We've had an influx of some young guys that are dynamic and change the way the game's played. And then, with all of that being said, you talk about, D linemen and offensive linemen. The other position groups have a great effect on that too. Offensively, your tight ends, the growth of our running backs, the quarterback being involved in that. And then defensively, you look at our linebackers and safeties, how they're playing, being able to tie all three levels of the defense in together. I think that's been a huge part of the growth of our program since we arrived here, and we're going to need that here as we continue through this journey this season, in particular this week. You look at Missouri, they're extremely good up front. Running backs dynamic. I think he leads the league in rushing. And obviously for us offensively, we've got to maintain balance. They've been really good against the run.
Ryan and Brent.
For guys like Jabari Small, Mari Thomas, John Campbell, who didn't play on Saturday, how important was it for them to get that extra week of rest before the end of the season?
Yeah, opportunity for them, to get completely healthy here. They all had an opportunity, would have been available if we felt like we needed to, but just elected not to play them in that game. Be big to have all those guys back and fresh and ready to roll.
Coach, I know you're turning the page to Missouri, but what was your takeaway from your veterans and your youthful guys when you watched the tape from Saturday?
Yeah, biggest thing, I talked about it with our team today in the team meeting. Was really proud of whoever stepped in, the way they competed, how hard they played, but also how well they played within our schemes and the fundamentals. It didn't matter who was in the game. They went out there and played at a really high level, and that was true defensively, special teams, and offensively. To finish the game the way that we did, it's probably one of the best finishes in a game like that, where you got a lot of guys in that I've had in my coaching career.
Vince, and then to the back with Sam.
What are the specific things that you've seen in Missouri quarterback Brady Cook?
Listen, he's smart, he's accurate with the football, and he is athletic. Has the ability to affect the game with his feet, and we got to do a great job in the pass game. We got to affect him, not let him be comfortable in the pocket. While doing that, you cannot let him escape the pocket. He'll be dynamic and make big plays with his feet and his arm as he breaks contain. And then he's obviously a part of their run game too, and can hurt you there.
Ricky Gibson said that in the beginning of the year, the game felt very fast to him. Now it's slowed down. He had his best performance against UConn. What have you seen from him and his growth?
Yeah, it will continue to slow down for him as he continues to grow as a player. It's just the evolution of being a young player and understanding everything that's going on around you. That's understanding what the guys around you defensively are doing, their responsibilities, but understanding formation, route concepts, understanding your fits, being able to go out there and play instead of having to think. He's dynamic, really athletic, competitive, willing to stick his face in the fan in the run game too, or on perimeter screens, go tackle. Love the growth that we've seen from him and a lot of those young DBs, and I thought they all did a really nice job when they got in on Saturday.
Eric and Ben.
Luther Burns, a receiver that can make a lot happen for Missouri. What were the challenges in slowing him
Yeah, you got to be really good in the run game because everything will play off of that too. They create a lot of big plays with chunk plays, design shots down the football field. He's a really good player, and so when he gets the ball in his hands, he's difficult to bring down. They do a good job of moving him around too, where you got to track where he's at for some of the ball in hands, and they try to find matchups for him. So we got to do a great job against him, but he's not the only wide receiver. They got a really good core group of wide receivers that are dynamic.
Josh, how much did you enjoy seeing the entire offense kind of mob Nico after his first career touchdown? And I know it was his first, but what do you think that meant with how they did kind of celebrate with him?
Yeah, your first one's always a big one as an individual player, for Nico, and then for the guys around him too, to be excited for him and what he did. That's offensive linemen, skill guys. It's Joe. It's everybody. They see the work that he puts in, the type of player that he is, and that was a big moment for him.
Adam and John.
You said you were really proud of how many guys you get into the game the other day. When you have your 3s and 4s in there, you're still running your offense. Some coaches just go off tackle 3 times and punt it. Why do you do it the way that you do it and keep running the offense?
Yeah, there's times where you need to slow it down. In that football game, our guys haven't had an opportunity to play the way that we play, and so I thought it was important to be able to evaluate them, but for them to also have the experience of playing how we play. That can be, backup quarterbacks in Nico. It can be Gaston. It can be your young offensive lineman. It's, one of their first game experiences. So for us to evaluate them, for them to have the opportunity to grow, knowing that you're going to need some of those guys here the next few weeks, just think it's really important to let those guys go play.
Coach, Coach Drinkwitz is having his best year since he got to Missouri. As someone who's been in a similar situation over your 3 years here, building a program, just what is it like going up against an opponent you have a chance to make a statement against from their perspective? You've had those opportunities here. I'm just curious if you've seen preparation change before those type of matchups on your side.
At the end of the day, they're a good football team. They play well in all 3 phases. They're smart, tough, and competitive. That's why they've played the way they have throughout the course of the season. You can tell that they're prepared every single week. We know that we're going to get their best, and it's our job to make sure that we're at our best too.
Ben, West, and Teresa.
Josh, what did you see from Elijah Simmons on Saturday? It seemed like since he returned from injury, he was as active as he has been.
Yeah, just a guy that's continued to get healthy here. Got banged up on the back end of training camp. He's been out there, he's competed well, but I think he's at his best physically, and so he was dynamic in the run game. You look at the short yardage play. I think the ball's on the 2-yard line. Does a great job getting off, essentially blowing up the A gap, making it bubble, and we got James and Tyler out on the outside that make a play when the ball bounces. He did a good job of being violent, disruptive in the pass game too, chasing the quarterback. So probably played his best football. I think most of all it's indicative of him being his healthiest.
Josh, obviously there's a lot of different ways to play football on offense. You see some teams have success throwing it a lot, some have success running it a lot.
Yeah, you can run triple option too.
Yeah, a little bit of that stuff. Love that stuff. You should run that.
Yeah.
When you talk about the balance that y'all have, how much, if you're a defensive coordinator, if you're a team scouting against that, how much more difficult is it when a team has near 50-50 balance?
Well, I think when you are balanced, it forces the defense to defend the entire field all of the time. And to do that, you got to be good up front. You got to have your quarterback that's a good decision maker. You got to have good skill guys. We're fortunate. We've continued to grow and are starting to play some of our best ball and most consistent, in particular out on the perimeter. But every Saturday is a different challenge based on structures and what you're seeing from the defense and their personnel and how you got to attack it.
Teresa.
Josh, you've been in the SEC, this is your 3rd season, but this league has seemed to just reload on talent and send them on to the next level, year after year after year. Right now, the projections that maybe even as few as 5 could end up going in the first round. Is the portal maybe taking a hit with kids wanting to go play somewhere now, even if it isn't the SEC? Or is it just that sometimes there's little hiccups where it just takes a second for teams to to reload?
And the draft's a long ways away. I would assume at the end of this year, this league has a lot of people drafted, and I base that off of the film that I watch every single week. There's dynamic players that are going to be playing on Sundays. In this league, you know, I kind of view it this way. You look at, you know, the 11 guys on offense, defense, and special teams. Almost all those guys will end up being in the NFL in some form or fashion. You know, the older guys, you can tell are older. The younger guys are younger and are going to grow into that. But this league's littered with talent.
Vince the Brent.
What are some traits you see in Missouri's defense?
Yep, fast, aggressive. You know, tackle extremely well. Play a bunch of man on the outside. They're going to make you earn it. You look at them statistically. You know, defensively, playing the run extremely well, and are one of the top teams in the country in creating sacks. They got really good players up front. They do it with pressure, but their first, second, and third levels are tied in together extremely well.
Coach, you've referenced the last couple of weeks about the guys on the perimeter and receivers playing better. What's been the reasoning? What's fueled kind of their growth here over the last 2 or 3 games?
Yeah, I wish there was some, you know, special recipe that we put together. Just continued growth throughout the course of the season, guys understanding their jobs, continuing to grow in it. We've had moving pieces. Guys have played inside, played outside. At the end of the day, I feel like they're at their most comfortable that they've been in understanding our schemes, what they're seeing on the other side, being on the same page with Joe. Comes down to execution.
Last question, John.
Coach, when you have an opportunity to get guys like Gaston and Navy in the game, just how rewarding is that for you as a coach and as a staff?
I just think it's important for guys that, you know, work and compete all year long. When they get an opportunity that they get in the football game, it's great to see those guys play at a really high level. Those guys are instrumental in who we are as a program, and you love getting an opportunity to play whoever or however many guys you can based on the score of the game.
Thank you, Coach.